else to say. So, having learned my lesson from that female officer, I now say, could you tell us what the card says you are? Starting with you and work your way across. Just pop it open. It's just a card. Just pop it. Yeah, just pop it open and tell us what you are. What the card says you are. Extortionist. Okay, so if we're in a car accident and she happens to be on scene, Drug dealer. Hey, this is car 52. Meet me at the precinct. Spouse abuser. Could you tell? He beat his wife up for telling him to wear that tie. Rapist. Mustache. Gay rapist. The one that didn't want to come up here. Child molester. Watch your kids. Murder. I didn't want to say nothing. Has he got a weapon? Last but not least. Law-abiding citizen. Law-abiding citizen. Again, what's my point? My point is real simple, y'all. If you don't get nothing else out of this conversation tonight, all I'm asking is that when you encounter law-abiding citizens, that you take that opportunity to develop a relationship whereby it narrows the space in which criminals have to operate. That's what it's all about. And my vision is that if we do this in Baltimore City, we can change the paradigm. We can change the paradigm, y'all. We can make it so that we can be the model for the county police departments and the state troopers and Annapolis and then Pennsylvania and then Washington, D.C. and then every state across this country. I believe we can do that. That's my vision for turning the Titanic that everybody says is ridiculous and that I'm stupid for pursuing it. But I don't care. I have an extreme love for my community, and I have an extreme love for ordered civilization. I mean, it sounds corny as hell, but I really believe that in my heart. And so, even though I'm laughed at, even though I'm ridiculed, I don't care, because it doesn't bother me. I want to see this thing change. And I have seen it change. It's so beautiful to me, and it's so vindicating for me when I meet officers like him and they're in my class and they stand up. Now, y'all can sit down now. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. No, you okay? It vindicates me because, and I'm not going to ask him to say a whole lot, but I'm going to just ask you if you could briefly, okay, if you could briefly tell them about our encounter.
It was pretty much like you said. You had the big ass dog with you, and you came up, and I was like, wow, this is a big ass dog. You said, how you doing, son? You extended your hand, I shook it, and you told me your little presentation, and I said, well, you have a good evening, and every time I see you, I blow the horn at you, you wave at me, and you were out there, like you said, on a regular basis, walking your dog, or your dogs, and you're in the community.
My man.
Actually approached you on Bel Air Road, you were walking the dogs. I was kind of surprised most people in that whole area have pit bulls. To see something other than pit bulls is kind of impressive alone. We probably talked about the neighborhood in a good 5-10 minutes before you even introduce yourself and what you do for the department. Will help us out.
So every time that happens in these classes, it vindicates me because it lets you know that I'm not just talking out of the side of my neck, that I really am authentic and legitimate in what I do. So we got 15 minutes to spare. I would simply ask if I would be able to come around and shake everybody's hand, and if you got anything you want to say, or if you got any comments about the presentation, maybe how fucked up it was or whatever, then I appreciate that right now. I got one other thing to do before I do that. Anybody got anything to say about it? Any comments?
How many young people do you have in the community that want to do the same thing?
That's an excellent question. Excellent question. Hundreds of them. I talk to them every day. I have some examples tonight. All my young folks in the back, could y'all come up front? They hate this part too. Over the years, I've literally had contact with hundreds of people, whether they got a gun in their waist or drugs in their pockets. When they see my two dogs, man, they stop and they listen. And what's really cool is when I roll up on them, right, and I got the two dogs and they're on the corner in the 4x4, and I see 3 or 4 of them and I see them smoking a joint, right? And I roll up and I take the dogs and I say, sit. And they both sit. Then I say, flat. And they both go flat. They're like, okay, I can't run. Right? So I better stay here and listen to this fool. And I tell them, hey, first of all, you shouldn't be smoking a joint, blah, 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 all of that. So I introduce myself, tell them a little bit about what's going on, and then I'll give you a quick example. I saw 2 guys, they were like 16 years old, up on Bel Air Road. I could smell the weed when I was a half a block away. So I rolled up on them, did the same thing, they were sitting on the steps. I said, what's your name? He was like, Tay. Stuck his hand out. What's your name? Tay. I said, oh, Tay and Tay 2. Right? Well, Tay and Tay 2, you're trying to go to jail. Suppose I was the police. Huh? I smelled it a half a block away. What happens if one of these neighbors in this area whose steps you're sitting on that you don't belong in the first place calls the police? You want to go to jail? How old are you? I'm 16. I'm 15. Why ain't you in school? Well, look, I'm Mr. Sonny. The next time you see me, I don't want to see you smoke or see you smoking no weed. All right, no, I'm not your uncle. I'm Mr. Sonny. So I have up here in front of me, and these happen to be 3 of my sons. The other 2 are not here. And this young lady, I'm going to tell you a little bit about all of them. This is my oldest son, Jamal. He's married, has 2 children, 2 sons, and he's working in the electronics field, but now you're working for Kohl's, right? Okay. And this is my nephew, Wayne. Might as well be my son. Real quick, let me digress. I'm trying to go quick. My wife used to get upset with me because all the way through there growing up, there were 20, 30 kids in my house all the time. So she used to get upset. But I asked her, would you rather those 20 or 30 kids that are in here be out on the corner getting involved in stuff they shouldn't be involved in? And so through that process of going around the schools, working in the community, when they see me coming, they're like, oh shit, here comes Mr. Sonny. And that's cool. But I've had so many times where others have come to me and said, hey man, I remember you taught me baseball when I was 9. Or hey man, I remember you told me X or Y. What are you doing now? I'm an engineer, I'm a biochemist, I'm a whatever. I'm drug free, I'm alcohol free, I don't have a criminal record. So this is my nephew Wayne, might as well be my son, just graduated high school. He gets mad with me about this all the time. Played football and basketball in high school, but he wants to study graphic arts. in college, right? Graphic arts. Right now, he just got a job working at Kohl's, so he's employed. This is my middle son, the pitcher, the one that came to me about the drug dealer. This is Ahmad, and Ahmad works in the biochemical field for Chesapeake Biological Labs. He's a laboratory technician. This young lady right here, Taryn, recently worked with me on Catherine Pugh's mayoral run as
a legislative district coordinator
a legislative district coordinator, and you work currently
at St. Joseph. I work at St. Joseph.
at St. Joseph's. And how old are you?
I'm 26.
26. And this is my youngest son, the one that's been stopped 21 times. You can look at him and tell why they stopped him. Right? He ain't got no business. But he has just entered a 6 months, start on the 10th. Huh? Starts on the 10th, a 6-month certification program for biotechnical or biomedical biotechnology. That starts on the 10th. So these folks are all drug-free, alcohol-free, but if I was an officer riding around in West Baltimore, I'd arrest his ass. I'd more than likely arrest his ass too, if I was riding around in West Baltimore 8 hours a day. So again, I appreciate your time. I thank y'all for coming up. And if I could, I really appreciate coming around and shaking everybody's hand. If you got something you want to say to me, cuss me out afterwards or whatever, just call me up and we'll talk. And if you say something about my time,